Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kirsten here for a Thursday Spa business break. So I have taken a little bit of backed off a little bit on my Thursday Spa business break. So in the summertime, I'll be here every second Thursday at 12 noon Pacific or shortly thereafter. And I wanted today to talk about how to figure out what to prioritize in your spa business, because I know you, dear spa owner, I know that you have a bazillion things on your list of to-dos in terms of growth initiatives, like marketing plans. You have things on your to-do list about team, like building out handbooks, that's probably on your list, creating an operations manual, maybe hiring and recruiting, especially right now with many of you guys trying to reopen after COVID closures. You're noticing that there's a lot happening with team members. Some aren't wanting to come back for whatever reason, whether they're earning more on their government subsidies, or whether they're just not comfortable going back, which is completely valid. Or perhaps they actually have a compromised immune system, or they live with somebody who has a compromised immune system and they're just not willing to risk it. Fair enough. So I do know, because I've been listening to what's happening in the spa industry on social, and I'm listening to my own clients as well, have the same kinds of concerns about staffing. Needing to fill positions rather quickly because they thought that team members were coming back. Or what's actually been happening this week, I've had two clients call me in a panic because one of their team members was exposed over the weekend. So lots and lots of stress around kind of how to manage staff, how to hire staff, how to recruit staff, how to get them trained. So in amongst the normal recruiting conversations and to-dos, there's also this extra stress of kind of managing your business during COVID. So really what I want to kind of point out here is that as a spa owner, any entrepreneur for that matter, is that there feels like there is always a ton of things that require priority. And the kicker is that you can't make a handful of things a priority, because then none of them are a priority anymore, right? That means that something is being compromised in terms of time and effort and focus, or it's just being completely diluted. So how do you figure out what to fix next in your business? What is the priority? Well, I wanted to share a resource with you that I discovered and picked up in the spring. And many of you have, if you've been watching my Facebook Lives before, you know that I'm a huge Mike Michaelowicz fan. He's an author. He's written Profit First, The Pumpkin Plan, Clockwork. In fact, my Facebook Live last time, 2 weeks ago, I was talking about how do you take the summer off as a spa owner. And that information came directly from his book, Clockwork. Now, in the spring, he launched a new book called Fix This Next, and I was so excited to get it, and I have been reading it. I kind of did a quick read through it. Now I'm going through it in much more detail. So this is the book, Mike Michaelowicz, Fix This Next. And what I love about Mike is that he explains business concepts and thinking constructs really, really simply in a way that is generally pretty easy to pick up and generally very easy to follow. Now, what he's done in this book is given us entrepreneurs a methodology to be able to figure out what to prioritize in our business. Now, what he's come up with is that, I'm going to flip it to the back of the book. It's going to be backwards anyways, because it's a Facebook Live. But this little triangle it's called the business hierarchy of needs. And if that sounds familiar, it's because he's actually modeled it off of the kind of like the humanity, like our own human needs and priorities. And so he's just flipped this and not flipped it, but he's just made it so that we can understand this and how it would work for a business, all right? So just like in our own human hierarchy of needs, we have at the very bottom is safety, right? So what I wanted to share with you is that it's the same kind of concept. Having a hierarchy of needs, this little triangle, he has given us a way to quickly be able to see what we need to work on first. So the first bottom part of the triangle here So when you go through his book, he has almost like checklists for each of these levels. Now, if you are, just learning about this and just getting into figuring out kind of what does my business need, you start with looking at your sales. That is the bottom of the triangle. That's the bottom of the support system for you. Once you have consistent sales handled, then you can move up to focusing on profit. Now, I feel like kind of the profit part actually might need to come in with the sales aspect. And that's usually what I do with my coaching clients, is that when we're looking at sales, the first thing that I actually have clients do is we do a profitability a worksheet. It's like a little spreadsheet. And because the whole point is, if you want to build your sales, if you're not profitable right out of the gate, in terms of if your service isn't profitable, then the more marketing you do, you kind of end up being on a hamster wheel, because you actually aren't charging enough to be able to have a healthy business. So it starts off with sales as the bottom. The next thing is profit in terms of priority. The next one up is order. So that's how organized you are, your organizational efficiencies. So when I work with clients, when you're looking for your own organizational efficiencies, meaning getting your staff handbook put together, getting your ops manual, operations manual organized and put together, your training system, training and kind of teaching and coaching your team. All of that needs to have order. If you're disorganized and don't have those organizational efficiencies, then it makes the whole business roll a lot slower, and you get hung up in your business at this order level. And that kind of prevents you from moving up into this level, which is impact. So, and then finally at the top is legacy. Now, what I find really interesting, and I had a conversation yesterday with one of my clients, and it was a strategy call. It was one of my social media management clients, and she booked a coaching call. And she was sharing with me kind of like, I said, give me a quick debrief on kind of what you've been doing in the past couple months. And, then we can kind of map out what we want to focus on for the hour. And so she, talked about, I need more sales. My business is closed. I don't think I can reopen anytime soon. She's in California. She's like making some money on e-commerce, but she's just getting her e-commerce rolling. And so that was one kind of part of the conversation, but it was quite kind of brief in a way. And she got right into talking about a really cool idea. However, the problem was, I was able to identify it very quickly, is that the idea that she was talking about and wanting to put a lot of energy in right away actually was a legacy project. And while it was a fabulous idea and very much needed, it was something to kind of support all of you as spa owners and estheticians, it was going to be easy for her to take that idea and put a lot of time and energy into it, when really what the priority needed to be for her is to focus on the e-commerce part of her business, looking at those aspects on her website that make the consumer journey much easier, allow the consumer on her website shop to feel supported, and still build that know, like, and trust factor and build her clientele without being open for treatments. So I quickly was able to share with her, I'm like, I love your idea. It's a brilliant idea, but right now I want to clarify, you're cash strapped and you need sales. Yes, that is true. I said, okay, we got to put this idea on hold right now and focus on sales. Because if she's going to spend time and energy working on something that has to do with a legacy, kind of towards the top of that pyramid, it's really difficult for her to actually make any kind of impact to what she wants to create if she can't support herself and her business with the sales. So you see what I'm saying? You gotta have strong, consistent sales going before you can jump into some of these other projects, as much as those projects are great ideas. So I just wanted to run through that first level, that sales level, because I feel like it's one of those, like when I was reading, I was like, oh my gosh, all our spa owners need to see this, because it just really lays it out very simply in the Michael Witt's way as far as how to look at your business big picture. So with each of those levels of that business hierarchy of needs, he has 5 core needs for each one of them. Now I want to share with you the business core need, or sorry, the sales core needs. And this, what he means by it is that if you can tick off the boxes of all 5 of these core needs in sales, you're good. Go up to the next level, which would be profitability. If you've got all your profitability boxes ticked, awesome. Now you're ready to go up to the next level. All right. So the 5 core needs for sales are lifestyle congruence. So fancy that. We actually make a plan, or we map out what do we need to make personally as income to take home in order for me to be able to keep doing this business. All right. And it's not a like pie in the sky, I want, $100,000 take home. And expect, that's not what lifestyle congruence is. It's like, how much money do you need per month or per year for a comfortable lifestyle so that you can have a healthy sales kind of in that business hierarchy of needs. So imagine actually building your sales goals in accordance with how much you need to actually make a living. That's how we make sales goals. We do this with the business as well. We look at all the expenses, and then we make a plan for what the actual sales goal needs to be. All right. What usually happens is that spa owners are waiting until the end of the month and taking what's left for themselves. So this helps you to see how you can kind of build into your growth, you're at a comfortable wage to take home. And that wage actually gets kind of worked into the profitability piece. So the next little core need to tick off under sales is prospect attraction. So that's marketing. How's your marketing going? Is it bringing in quality leads for you consistently? Is a large part of your marketing automated? All right. So I suspect that many of you, this is a tick box that you can't fully tick. And what I'm talking about, like if you just have social media management, like if you're doing social media, but you're not doing email marketing, you're not paying attention to your website and having opt-ins and having little funnels going. If you're not paying attention to the other email marketing, if you're not paying attention and not doing those things, you're kneecapping yourself in terms of prospect attraction, right? The next little box here for a healthy sales is client conversion. So are people converting from website, your conversations with them, to actually booking appointments or buying products, right? If that's not happening easily for you, you're not able to tick that box, and that means that needs to be a focus. Another box in here, number 4, is delivering on your commitments. And I feel like for us in the spa industry, that's pretty easy. But there's lots of pieces in that client experience, the client journey, that could probably use some tweaking and improving to improve the client journey so that they're actually, they're feeling like they're getting what you promised. And number 5 on core needs for sales is collecting on your commitments. So that has to do with the money. And again, this isn't normally an issue with the spa industry because most people are, they have a treatment and then they pay for it on their way out. So it's not like consulting or coaching. If there's an invoice sent and, you got to wait, if they're not paying it right away, then you have to wait. And then there's collections and all that kind of stuff. So that part in terms of collecting on commitments isn't normally a big issue. But what I see for the spa industry in the sales core needs of a business is lifestyle congruence. You guys haven't kind of necessarily mapped out what you need to earn as a living to take home, and then work that into the financial and profitability aspects of your services. I know for sure many of you have prospect attraction as a huge issue. And client conversion. So If you're wondering what to fix next and you want to pick up this book, you'll probably be able to identify like, oh yes, I've got to start with lifestyle congruence. I got to map out what I need to make comfortably. I need to like break down my prospect attraction needs and start working on that. And then I also need to break down like, how can I convert more people that are coming to social media, coming to my website, having a conversation in the spa? How do I convert more of those people into actually booking more appointments and buying more products? So those, I feel, for the spa industry are the big like arrow, we need to look at this. Now, once you've got those things, you got a plan for it, you're implementing it. Once you've got those 5 core needs, the checkbox is all checked off, then you can move up to the next section, which is your profitability. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's a big book, and I just wanted to give you a taster of how to at least identify what you should be working on first. I feel like that is one of the biggest holdups for actually implementing any work, or even sitting down brainstorming, because you sit down to do some work on your business, and because there's so many things on your to-do list, it's just overwhelming. You don't know, you didn't have a methodology to prioritize, and so then it just feels super overwhelming, and you tend to like, I'll clean a closet or you like scroll on social media for another hour, or you end up working on stuff that actually isn't a priority. So if you are struggling to kind of figure out how to identify, I absolutely recommend that you pick up his book here. I've got lots of little tabs in mine. I make notes in mine. I mark it all up. That's why I like having a physical book rather than an ebook, is because I like to mark it up. I get inspired. I get inspired for my own business. I get inspired thinking about my client's business and how this particular methodology relates to them. And as I've been sharing this with clients, they're just like, wow, things make so much easier to kind of figure out where you should be working on things. So I'm curious if have you picked up this book yet? Because I'm curious about what you think about it. I bought it for my manager and I to go through and work on. So we're like methodically working on each of the levels and just, finding out where the gaps are and really absolutely looking at what we need to prioritize in terms of our growth initiatives and the time that we're allocating to each of these. So I feel really good about it. It's working really well for us. And so I wanted to share this resource for you as well. So if you've picked it up, let me know. What do you think about it? Have you had some ahas in your own business? He has some great resources online. So I think it's, where is he? Yeah, fixthisnext.com. And there's some downloads in there for you, all sorts of free information. But, I'm always a big proponent of buy the book and like read through it, understand it, and then work it. I've lost count how many books I've actually used, books like this, and I've used them like a workbook. It's much more fun when you do it with somebody. But he gives you all the tools that you need to use this methodology. So I encourage you to purchase it, have a read, go through his website, check him out, sign up for his newsletter, because he's a smart dude. And he's been through the grinder in terms of entrepreneurship as well. And his whole focus, his whole mission is to end entrepreneurial poverty, because Lord knows, as the spa industry, there are a lot of spa owners who are actually dirt poor and they're working their butts off, which is not okay. All right, thanks for joining me for today's Thursday Spa Business Break. I'm going to be taking next Thursday off as well, but I'll be back the following Thursday. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to either leave a comment here or send me a DM if you want to send a private message. And always, there's resources on my website on kirstenfoss.com. There's probably 7 years worth of weekly blogs. So I'm sure if whatever question that you have, you'll find some sort of information on the blog there. But I don't mind if you reach out and ask either. Take care, everyone, and stay healthy.